Hi everyone, welcome back to TME. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet, but I just want to do an opener here, and if you guys read the title of the video, then that's right. I'm no longer working for this company, unfortunately, and I'm not going to go into details right here, but I just wanted to kind of explain that this particular video and the previous video that I made, it was entitled, "This is an Awesome Georgia Backroad Route." I just want to let you guys know and explain that these two videos were filmed in late July, and I had a big gap on my channel. There was a period all through August that I didn't upload any videos, and it's because I wasn't working at the time. Now, like I said, I'm going to do an update video for you guys and kind of explain what has been going on with me. But I just want to let you guys know this isn't the best video, but I wanted to put it on my channel because this is the last official video that I filmed with this company, and I no longer have this job. I am working currently, and like I said, I'll show you my update and give you the details about what I'm doing now. It's drastically different from anything I've ever done before. It's still truck driving, of course, but it is a different type. It's its whole thing on its own, and you guys, I hope you'll like it, but it's a lot different. I'm no longer working locally. In a truck again, living in it, and even though I'm at home right now, you guys will see it in the next video. I just want to thank you for watching. It's not very good, but it's the last one, so I still wanted to put it on here. Here we go, one last time. Enjoy. Welcome back to TME. Thanks for joining me. If you guys care to go for a ride, I'm gonna take you back to Georgia today from Alabama. I'm in Cullman, Alabama. I just delivered a load at Walmart, and I've got some kind of interesting things to show you, some interesting places to go through. I'm gonna try to avoid the interstate to get to where I need to be. I'm actually going to McDonough, Georgia, and I've technically already filmed this route before, but there's a couple things about that video that I'm talking about. I think it's called US 278 to Cullman. I think that's what I called it. I actually lost a lot of footage from that video, so I wasn't able to show you as much as I wanted to. So I figured now that I came back over here today, I would use this opportunity to show you guys a little bit more. Man, those trailers are so close together, it's crazy. But at least I found an empty. So yeah, if you care to join me, stay tuned. And wow, that thing is low. And we'll get back on the road momentarily. For right now, I gotta hook up to this trailer. Guys, I just hooked up to my empty. It is unbearably hot out there. Oh my gosh. I mean, look, it says it's 101 degrees. And I just had to like crank this landing gear on this trailer. You see how close the trailers are together? Yeah, that was not fun. I mean, I could have moved it up. I even pointed out how low it was when I hooked up to it, but I'm trying to take my 30-minute break so that we can just head on out of here. Now in that video I was just mentioning about already filming this route. I had a predicament that day. I actually had another load to do after I delivered here. So it didn't give me the option of going back the way that I came. Well, today I'm gonna go back the way that I came on US 278. And again, try to just completely avoid the interstate because I'm going straight back to McDonough. So I think what I'm gonna do while I'm sitting here taking my 30 is I'm gonna try to figure out, see, I can get to US 27, which is like Carrollton, but I'm thinking, you know, instead of taking South Fulton Parkway, which I showed you at the very beginning of that video, I'm gonna try to find another way to go that's gonna take me all the way back to 155 in McDonough without getting on the interstate. Here's what I would like to film. And the rest of this is, I've already got it, so I'm mainly just wanting to focus primarily on where I am in Cullman and this section of 278 as I go down. Again, I lost a lot of footage from that video that I'm talking about of me driving through Gadsden, and I would like to film more of Gadsden because it's pretty cool. And yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll get on the road after my 30's up, and stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Still crazy how close they got those trailers together. I'm just looking at it like, man, come on, Walmart. I'm gonna go ahead and move these tandems up all the way. Put them all the way up for those sharp corners. I'm glad I remembered to do that. That's gonna help. And I'm just thinking about it, I'm like, well, some of these places I'm gonna be driving through are gonna have a lot of traffic, so I'm still debating in my head, like, am I just inducing masochism by doing this, or am I really helping myself at all by doing this and just totally avoiding the interstate? Either way, it kind of sucks. As long as I have enough time to do it, it's not going to be a problem. It's just, I'm pretty much going to be maxing out my driving clock. So it's like altogether, my driving time today is going to be pretty close to 11 hours. And by the way, I just want to say, if you notice some really loud, obnoxious, staticky sounds in my videos, I apologize for that. And I think it's basically just the fact that my my camera and my editing software don't have the best relationship. So I'm trying to get them counseling. I'm trying to do something about it, but I'm not a big computer guy, so I don't know exactly how to fix that, and I apologize. I do my best to cut most of it out, but like I said, it's just, it has something to do with the files themselves. The editing software is not really taking onto it so well, you know. There might be something to do with the transferring of the files onto the PC. Whenever I do transfer them, maybe somehow they're getting corrupted or something like that, and it's causing that to happen. So I apologize for that, and I'll do my best to try to keep that staticky, loud crap out of the video, but I'm not going to be able to
catch it every single time it does it, because my videos are very long. And well, if I were to sit there and show you my editing software, which is Vegas 20, and I showed you the timeline of each one of the videos that I upload to YouTube, I mean, it's pretty crazy, because we're talking about literally hundreds of cuts, and it's a long, grueling process to edit video in general. But when you're talking about truck driving videos, that, you know, any one of my videos on average could vary from, you know, an hour to 2.5 hours long. So you're like, again, you're talking about hundreds of cuts and splices and everything else. It's a lot of work. So that's why I'm saying I won't be able to catch every single time it does that. I won't be able to catch it, but I'll do my best. So we're about to drive through Cullman right now, and you guys, if you saw that other video, then you've already seen this, but you haven't seen it from this angle. So I'll go ahead and get it from, you know, the opposite direction. We're coming off of Alabama 60. Well, actually, we're not coming off of it, but this right here is Alabama 69, and now we're getting on US 31, or actually joining together with it. We're gonna come up here to this intersection, hang a right, and then we'll be back on US 278. And that's the old part of Cullman. It's really cool, really interesting. It's a pretty big city. But I'm just thinking, if it's anything like the rest of the cities around here, probably established in the mid-1800s. And the thing that I like about it the most is that even the old part of it, you know, the Old Town Main Street area, is still being utilized. It's not like boarded up storefronts and all abandoned and everything. They're still using the old part of town. It's nice to see modern day things and how they connect with historical things. It's interesting. Their courthouse looks like a brand new building though. That's the courthouse right there to the right. And it doesn't look like it's that old, so be nice to see the original courthouse, or if it's even still around. Maybe that's where the original courthouse was, and they tore it down and rebuilt it. I don't know. There's a mural. Okay, there's a big mural over there. It says Cullman in the 1880s. That's interesting. Yeah, this first courthouse. Okay, I think it said 1893 to 1992. Oh, cool. I was just talking about that. All right, this next intersection up here is 278. The light's not gonna wait on me though. Chamber of Commerce building. Yeah. I guess I could have made my right turn, but let's see if we can pull this off. See, it's times like this that I'm real glad I moved my tandems up. Cullman's first high school, 1909. There was another mural. There's a cigar store down there. It's got like an old vintage, you guys aren't gonna be able to see it, but it's like an old vintage cigar sign on it. Stuff like that is actually worth a lot of money nowadays. It's a really cool looking sign. But that store, it looks like it's still open actually. Might just be a tobacco kind of place. Go ahead and get over in the left lane. I like going through there. It's interesting. Looking at all the old stuff, old houses. That house looks like it has an original roof on it. Now this road here, I showed you quite a bit of it in that original video, and I just say that it's much more enjoyable to drive on when you're empty. There's a lot of real estate around here too. And we probably passed at least 3 real estate offices, and they're not like franchise chain real estate. It seemed to be like smaller, privately owned real estate companies around here. But off into the countryside we go now. Oh, this place right here, this Ave Maria Grotto, I think that's how you say it, is really cool. I'd like to actually go there one day, but it looks like it's a school or something too, but it's, from what I understand, if you know more about it than I do, then you can correct me in the comments. Feel free, I'm just saying, you don't have to, but feel free. It's like a park, but it's got a lot of models in it, scale models of different things, like the Sistine Chapel and the Colosseum in Rome. And from what I understand, it started out with one monk that just liked to build things, design things, like kind of like a sculptor, but just making miniature models of, you know, like replicas of real buildings and stuff. It started out as that, and then it just kept getting bigger and bigger, and now there's like all kinds of stuff on display. I've never been, but I want to check that place out. But it said something about a prep school or something, like maybe it's a campus too. I don't know anything about that. All I know is that it is a park, and it's got a lot of interesting scale model stuff on it. Maybe I can find some pictures and show them to you right here. It just seems like a really cool place to go check out. Probably a tourist trap, you know, but still cool nonetheless. This road is fun though, I like it. Wow, we're 51 miles from Gadsden. I think that's why it takes so long to do this, is because it is such a sparse distance between Cullman and Gadsden on this road, and in most areas the speed limit is like 55. But when you're loaded, the hills will really slow you down. Now, one bad thing about the GoPro is that it doesn't really do justice to show you the extremity of the terrain. If there's a steep downhill or steep uphill section of the road, the GoPro doesn't really accentuate it very well. It's kind of hard to tell just how steep something is by looking at the video, but some of these hills are like pretty dang steep. It feels good to be empty. It feels good not to be dragging all that weight around. Those Walmart loads are usually pretty heavy. It's normally grocery stuff that we're taking to Walmart. It might be soup or tea or coffee creamer, you know, stuff like that. But some of it can get pretty heavy. Sometimes we take them cooking oil, which is very heavy. This hill right here is serious. This is steep. And there's a dang bus stop down here at the bottom of this hill. Got the sign for a narrow bridge. Yeah, that hill right there, that hill is fun. I love that, especially when you're empty. Just, if you can see in the mirror how steep that is, that's a hill. And as far as my route goes, most of it's gonna be okay. Gadsden can get really busy. There's a lot of traffic lights, and most of the traffic lights in Alabama are older, and so I don't think they're up to par with the volume of traffic that's on the road, you know, these days. And so they're pretty old-fashioned, old technology, whatever you want to refer to it as. And so they can kind of be a pain in the butt sometimes. So Gadsden's gonna slow me down for sure. McDonough is surrounded by traffic. Like, not only is the traffic in McDonough bad, it's surrounded by cities with bad traffic on every side. So yeah, there's really no way to win with it, you know what I'm saying, unless it's like in the middle of the night. That's a really nice view over there. You can see for probably tens of miles to the southeast. Have I done enough convincing to you yet that this is a beautiful state? I really like Alabama. It's very similar to Georgia as far as the layout of the cities. You've got Birmingham, that's pretty much on the same latitude as Atlanta. It's a little bit further south than Atlanta, but what I like about it is it's not like packed out, it's not overdeveloped. Like Atlanta, the metro Atlanta area is so big and it goes off in every single direction because so many people live there. Well, you come over here and it's kind of similar, but there aren't nearly as many big, huge cities in Alabama. And that's what I like about it. Like if I have to go toward Birmingham, well, it's not going to take me as long to get there because I'm not going through a half a dozen huge cities on my way to Atlanta, or on my way to Birmingham. Unlike Atlanta, where you've got huge cities that are just scattered all the way around in every direction. And so it's not nearly as developed here as it is in Georgia. And that's what I like about it. Once you get out of the metro Atlanta area in Georgia, it's a lot like this. It's more sparse. I just feel like I'd appreciate my job a lot more if I didn't have to work primarily in that area of metro Atlanta. Like if I lived in Savannah or Augusta or Valdosta or even Athens, and I, you know, work primarily in those areas, and I didn't have to go to Atlanta as much or drive in that area as much, I would appreciate my job a lot more. I'm gonna try to catch as many of these nice lookout views on the tops of the hills that I'm driving over as I can. We're coming into a town called Sneed in a minute, and it's a funny word. I was talking about Snellville, Georgia on my first video that I made for the channel, and saying that word Snellville, it reminded me of Dr. Seuss. Well, Sneed definitely reminds me of Dr. Seuss. Isn't there something like that, like a character or something? Maybe it's not Dr. Seuss, maybe it's something else, but it's called a Sneed. This is like S-N-E-A-D, Sneed. We might actually already be in the city now. Another thing about this part of 278 is it's a 4-lane divided highway, but it still has 4-way stop signs on it, which is kind of weird. You'd think they would just go ahead and put a light in, but for some reason I guess they just don't feel like it's necessary. That guy's flying. He's going like 85. Sorry about that vibration. I don't know what the heck that is, but it's like, it's driving me crazy. I slip seat, so that just means that I share my truck with other drivers that work different times than when I'm working, and sometimes they mess with stuff in the truck and they leave crap laying around. They throw stuff up there on the dash, and I think that's what that is. It's like vibrating from the dash. It's like a piece of plastic or glass or something up there. It's vibrating against the windshield. They also leave trash in the truck, which I can't stand it when they do that, but yeah, they do it. It's an old Ford Ranger in front of me, and I'm afraid I'm gonna get stuck behind him. He's driving kind of slow. Oh, here comes another hill. Yeah, he's driving slow. That's another... That's probably the only downside to driving on this road. Sometimes you get stuck behind slow pokes. There's not really a lot you can do about it. But, I mean, I don't blame them for driving slow. If I was driving a vehicle from the mid 1980s, I probably wouldn't want to drive it fast either. That looks like an old Ford Ranger. We might have a work zone coming up. I don't see anything. So I have a proposition, something that I want to talk about real quick. It's not super important, but speaking of work zones and how important it is to react to them and slow down when you're driving through them, right? Like, that's really important because you've got like DOT workers that get hit by vehicles, and it happens on a regular basis because they're like speeding through work zones and they don't react to the signs telling them there's a work zone coming up. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Fines doubled, speeding fines doubled, work zone, you know. Those signs are very important. Those signs are communicating with you to tell you to react to the fact that there's a work zone coming up. I guess they're right there. That's what they're talking about. But okay, the most important part about a work zone, in my opinion, is the signs that communicate and tell you what's going on the road, right? So what I'm saying is it's important that those signs are there, right? So that you know what you're about to drive up into. So you have time to react, you have time to slow down, right? Okay, well, if it's important that the signs are put up in work zones, should it not also be important that the signs are also taken down when the work zone is no longer there? Because again, the sign telling you that there's a work zone is very important. Well, if you've got a sign on the side of the road telling you there's a work zone, but there is no work zone, that's kind of messed up. In my opinion, that's just as messed up as if somebody sees a sign for a work zone and they fail to react and they don't slow down. Well, if you leave a sign up saying that there is a work zone and there is no work zone, that's gonna kind of condition people over a span of time to not react to the sign, because they'll see it, but they'll realize, hey, there is no work zone, so that sign is not important. You see what I'm saying? So it kind of diminishes the importance of communication, and it diminishes the importance of the fact that there's a sign telling you there's a work zone when it's not really there. So what my question is why, in some states, why do they not make it important to remove work zone signs when the work zone is no longer active? Why do they do that? Why do they leave them up for months and sometimes years after the work zone is no longer there? You guys see what I'm saying? Again, the work zone sign is the most important thing about all of it, because that's your communication. If you leave it up when the work zone is gone, you're pretty much telling people that the sign is not important, but it's actually the most important part about all of it. And that's probably why a lot of people don't react to work zone signs, because they're so conditioned to seeing them but never seeing any work on the road. Something to think about, right? I mean, I can give you examples of where some places are horrible about that. Here's another one coming up right here, like the city of Chicago, man. That place is, the roads are so messed up in that city that you don't know what's going on. Like, signs don't help anything in that city because they don't take them down. And then in some areas they'll actually be doing road work and they don't have any signs put up. So you might as well just drive 45 miles an hour the whole time you're driving on the interstate through Chicago. But the only thing is, if you do that, then you're gonna get ran over by every other vehicle on the road. Road work, next 4 miles. What road work? Are you talking about when you guys were repaving right here? It looks like you're done. So why don't you take your sign down? So that the next time there is road work, people will know that there is actually road work. And it's not just a sign that was irresponsibly left up. It's only true, right? So we just drove through, like what we just drove through was that city, Sneed. I'm almost positive that all this crop around us is cotton. It looks like cotton. It just hasn't sprouted yet, the cotton balls. It's not far enough along yet, but I guarantee you another month or two, it's gonna look like it snowed in those fields. Okay, this is Walnut Grove, right here. Look at those old cars right there. That vibration sound, it's about to drive me crazy. It's about the equivalent of having like a fly buzzing around your ear. I don't know what that is. Every time I let off the throttle, it does it. Try to pass this guy. Oh no, there's a hill. Oh crap. Ah, shoot. probably just made the people behind me mad. Yep. Yeah, they're mad. Okay, this part right here, this is a long downgrade. Ooh, that's a steep drop off too. Huh, maybe it's not the, okay. There is a long downgrade coming up, that's not it, but it's coming up soon. This is it right here. See what this sign says. It just says use lower gear. Sometimes it'll tell you the grade percentage and for how long it goes down. That's a fun one. Yeah. There's some more. See, when you're loaded and you're going up that hill, man, it could take quite a while to get up it, depending on how heavy you are. This area right here, I think it's called Egypt. I'm pretty sure. In 2 miles we're gonna turn right to stay on 278, and then there's a city between here and Gadsden. It starts with an A, but I can't remember what it's called. We'll see his signs for it, I'm sure. But that's the area where I was really wanting to film in the last video, and yeah, I lost those files, so they got deleted, so it's okay, I'll get it this time, coming from the opposite way. Okay, so we're coming back together with 431 down here. Coming down out of these hills. Man, that light doesn't stay green for long at all. It's like 5 seconds. Huh, it says on the GPS, it says Florida short route. Oh my gosh, I forgot about this railroad track. This guy wants to turn too. Alright. See, I can't stop on that track, so I have to stop before it. Which means it takes longer to get out there on the road. Atala, that's what it's called. That city between here and Gadsden. Atalla. This section right, this almost looks like Virginia or something, you know? Maybe West Virginia. Except that mountain's not tall enough. There's a low clearance up here, but I mean it's over 13.6. I think it's 14 something, 14.1. As soon as you make this right turn, you got a low clearance. All right. I bet somebody flipped over right here on this curve. Low underpass, next right, max clearance 14.1. They got a pretty cool main street right there too. You can tell somebody hit that thing pretty hard. You see that crap? Man. Okay, so we're gonna fork off to the left side right here. That one's 13.7. You guys see the one on that road? That's Interstate 59 right there, so that links Birmingham with Chattanooga, which that interstate, I think that goes all the way down to I-10 in Mississippi. Like if you're going to New Orleans, that's where that interstate goes. This is Gadsden. I can't even say it. Gadsden. There's a used car lot up here, and it's got a Porsche 911. Maybe that's not what it is. Maybe it's like a Cayman or one of the lesser Porsches, but it looks, you know, it's clearly a Porsche, you know. Tell by the way it looks. I'm not an expert at Porsche models, but it looks pretty awesome. And it's like 31,000 and some change. It's probably a trap though. It's probably not worth it. If you guys don't do stuff like that, okay? What they just did, don't do that. Don't do that to a truck. I got over because there was a truck on the shoulder and they're going like 65 miles an hour in a freaking 45 zone. And I got in the left lane because there was a truck on the shoulder and I was trying to, you know, not get close to it. And they just ripped by me on my freaking blind side. And if I didn't check in my mirror good enough, I would have ran right into them because they passed me on my blind side. Like, wait like 5 seconds for the truck to get out of the left lane and then pass them on the left side. Where you guys been? Okay, I left you back there in Gadsden. I'm now back in Georgia, still on 278. I'm about to make my way over to US 27. I kind of changed my plans. I got off of 431 because it was saying that the traffic was so bad that it would take longer to go that way. So I changed my plans. I actually changed my whole route. And it's kind of a good thing if you like my content, because I'm gonna do something different that I haven't done before. First time ever doing this. Gosh, it smells like lawn chemicals here. It stinks. Ugh. Like that chlorine kind of smell. It stinks. Anyway, we're gonna go through Cedartown here and come out on the other side at US 27, and then I'm gonna make my way down to Carrollton on US 27. Okay, I'm gonna get to Georgia 166 down there in Carrollton, and I've shown you that in the other video when I went to Cullman at the beginning of it. I was on 166, but instead of getting on that Caps Ferry Road, you know, the little road that turns into South Fulton Parkway, instead of getting on that road, I'm gonna avoid going that way because that would bring me out there at 285, which, like I said, I'm trying to get back without getting on the interstate, period. And my original plan was to go through Noonan and go through Griffin. Well, I'm not gonna do that now. I found what I believe is a better way because it avoids both of those cities. So I'm actually gonna stay on 166 and pass Caps Ferry Road and keep going. I think that's east on 166, and eventually it's going to get me to Georgia 92, which is a different highway. I haven't talked about 92. I will when we get there, but 92, if you look on the map here, goes east, like southeast, that sort of direction, and eventually it's going to run into Georgia 138. Now that's the road that I use to get to that warehouse in Union City that I've filmed before. Okay, and once I get on 138, that's my ticket over to US 19 and 41, which gets me to Georgia 20 right there. And you guys, you see what I mean? Actually, I need to go straight right here. I'm not gonna turn that way. That is a shortcut to get to US 27, but I don't know if I'm allowed to go that way or not. GPS wants me to go that way, but I don't think that's the truck route. See, if I just go straight through this intersection, it'll take me right out there to US 27. But anyway, yeah, Georgia 20, that's Hampton right there, where 20 and 19 and 41 come together. And that's right next to McDonough. That's that area where the Atlanta Motor Speedway is and all that other stuff that I filmed. So I'm not gonna film any of that, but I am gonna film Georgia 166 and Georgia 92 until it turns into 138. And then I'll let you go once we get over there to 138. I just want to show you where it comes out at. It comes out like right there around where US 29 is. And I'll probably even show you the warehouse that if you watch my videos, you're familiar with. When I say I'm going to Union City or whatever else, it's that warehouse, that area, and it's off of Highway 138. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. Like I said, I'm getting over here to US 27, and you guys have seen that. Well, you saw part of it, a very small portion of it, but there's not really much to show you on that road, at least not that part of it. It's gonna take me down to Carrollton. Right before I get there, I'm gonna cross over I-20. That's exit 11 on I-20, because you know, in that first Cullman video that I made, I was telling you guys that this is a good way to get to West Georgia and get back on the interstate if you wanted to bypass all the traffic in Atlanta and you wanted to get further west on 20. Well, you can take Highway 166 and go through Carrollton and get there on the back roads. Anyway, I'll see you guys when I get down there on to Highway 166, and we'll continue the video then. I know it's kind of confusing. It was kind of like an on-the-spot kind of thing where the more I thought about what I was about to try to do, the more I didn't like the idea of it, and the more I started to think there's got to be a better way to get back. There's got to be a better option, and see, there usually is. You know, you just keep looking at the map, keep studying it, and a lot of times you'll find an alternate way. And so I'm glad I didn't give up on that. If this works out well, it's still gonna take a long time to do it, but if it works out well, then I might actually start going this way when I have to come over here, because it's basically gonna completely eliminate my need to even get on the interstate to get over here, and that's a pretty big deal. That's actually huge. I don't think there are really any major cities that you have to go through except for Union City. When before I was gonna have to go through Noonan and Griffin. So I'm pretty sure this is the better option. Okay, so I'll see you guys in about 30 miles when we get off of US 27. Okay, I made it to 27 and I'm almost down here in Carrollton. I'm about to make that left turn onto the 166 connector. Check out that house right there though. You guys see that? What happened? There's a big hole in the side of it. You see that? It looks like it's haunted. That's a pretty creepy looking house with a big giant hole in the side of it. Maybe the ghost escaped. Already crossed over 20, and this intersection down here, it's the 166 connector because it connects with Highway 166, but the whole thing, again, as I was explaining in that other video, it goes around. It's like another little beltway that goes around Carrollton, and the road itself is called Linda Lane. First time I did this, I was questionable about it because I realized it wasn't actually a highway, but then I saw the sign that said connector. So typically, from what I understand, or just from my own experience, when you see a road that's not an actual highway, it's not a state highway or a US route, but it takes you to a highway or a US route. If it says connector, from my experience, you're always good to go on that road in a truck. I've never had a circumstance where I got on a connector road, a lesser road that had the name connector in it, when it's like the name of the road, again, it's called Linda Lane. Lane, like you think lane, like it's gonna be small or something, like a small lane. So you're thinking, nah, I probably shouldn't get on that with a truck. But then as soon as I saw that sign that said 166 connector, I knew that I was good. So if you're ever questionable about that, I'm just telling you from my experience, anytime you've got a sign saying connector to a highway or a US route, you're good to get on it in a truck. There's another Walmart DC in Carrollton. It's right there. I've never been to that one before. I'm really curious to see this other end of Highway 166 because I've never been on it. And I've also never been on the part of Highway 92 that we're gonna get on. See that little, you're probably gonna have a hard time trying to see it, but that green sign up there, it says connector 166. That's pretty much the only thing you've got letting you know that it's okay to get on with a truck. But if you look at it, it's no different than the US route that we're on right now. It's big, but the name of it is a little misleading. It's called Linda Lane. Okay. I've never seen maps do that before. It just completely erased my route off the map. Look, it's gone. It's not even on there. That little blue line that tells you where to go, what happened to it? It's just gone. I don't know. I've made it do some pretty crazy stuff before, but this is funny. I have never seen it just completely erase your route line. See, now it's trying to get me to get on Caps Ferry Road, the road that I was telling you I was gonna drive past this time. I suppose I can still do that, and I don't think it's gonna be a problem, because either way it's gonna end up putting me on 92, and the only reason why I need to get on 92 is so that I can get to 138. my turn for Highway 166 is up here at this next light. Okay. I just need to make sure that this road getting me to 92 is actually a road that I can be on. That becomes South Fulton Parkway, and that part of it is Highway 70. So I'll be on the highway then, okay? And I didn't realize this, but it looks like 92 crosses over South Fulton Parkway. I didn't know that. Wonder why I never realized that. You think that would have stood out to me? I'm always like calling out intersection, like highways that cross over each other. You know how I'm always like, if you turn right, you'll go to blah blah blah. If you turn left, you'll go to blah blah. So I'm surprised I didn't realize that or notice that. That guy kind of messed me up. He had his book bag like up on his shoulders. I thought it was like a giant for a second there. I thought that was Slenderman. That was funny. Okay, so we can go that way. And it's actually going to be faster. It's going to prevent us from having to get, you know, as close to some busier areas as need be if we were to stay on this road. If we stay on 166, yeah, it looks like it does intersect with 92, but you're having to go up into like South Fulton, the city of South Fulton, to get there. So if I can avoid doing that, that'll be even better. And man, I think I'm kind of happy I just figured something out. Guys, I think I just figured out how to get over here without the interstate. Like a legitimate way to do it that won't take very long. And I'm talking about not touching the interstate at all. See, I always just pictured, okay, I'm gonna get on 75 in McDonough, and I'm gonna go up to 285, and then I'm gonna get on South Fulton Parkway, because that's just the easiest thing to do and the most convenient thing to do, even though it's not easy or convenient. It's neither of those things, but it's still easier than trying to figure out another way to get over here without 285. But I think I just figured it out. And it's gonna be that Highway 92 that gets me there, because I can get to 138 easily from my warehouse without the interstate, and 138 will take me to 92. Okay, got a roundabout coming up in a mile and a half, and then Caps Ferry is just on the right. You know, just after that roundabout. This area is not extremely busy, but what you're seeing right now, the traffic, this is about as busy as this area gets. I think this is Douglas County, so it's pretty close to Douglasville. It's like to the north of here. But this is still, you know, outside of the city limits, so it's sort of countryside, like halfway. There's a lot of horse stables and stuff around here. A lot of equestrian activity kind of stuff. Carrollton's real big with equestrian. Sport, I guess you could, for lack of a better word. Horseback riding, all that stuff. This crossroad right here is Georgia 5. And I think it's just another road that'll eventually get you down to Noonan. It's an old gas station there. So it's kind of cool. It says we're 17 miles from Atlanta, but it's not, you know, it's not so bad. Still pretty suburban. It's like half suburban and half rural, I guess. But this is Capps Ferry right here. First time I turned right on this road, it was on a whim, and I was like, man, I hope I'm allowed on this road. But yeah, it's all kinds of trucks on this road. So you guys remember earlier when we were on 278 and I was telling you that Metro Atlanta, you know, you got Atlanta, which is highly populated, then you have cities on every side of Atlanta, like surrounding it, that are highly populated as well. This might be the only area that's an exception, you know. This might be the last remaining area that's considered Metro Atlanta that's not like ridiculously overpopulated. Because this is one of the busiest parts of the day. I mean, it's almost 1600 and it's a Friday afternoon, and this road is nice right now. I mean, you see all this traffic, but you've got some slow trucks that these people are stuck behind. I'll say it again, this road is a godsend. I mean, obviously, if more people knew about this road, they would probably use it. It would probably get packed out just like every other highway around Atlanta. But obviously, you know, a lot of the trucks don't know about this road. It's kind of a well-kept secret. Okay, we're getting closer now to our turn, which is the area I've never actually driven on, that section of Highway 92. It's gonna be a right turn coming up. There's some stuff that I want to say about Georgia 92, but I want to wait till we get on the road to start talking about it. You know what I mean? Now, if you stay on South Fulton Parkway, it's gonna bring you out to 285 right there where the interchange with 85 is, on the south side. And that's actually, I think that's considered College Park right there. We're pretty close to the airport, you know. Okay, we got our junction with 92. And our arrow pointing us toward Union City, right turn. And we're about to be in the thick of all the traffic once again. Okay, it's not far. We're not far from 138 now. But we're gonna have to turn left on US 29 to get to 138. But it actually looks like there's something strange going on. There might be some kind of connector road or something. I don't know. That's weird. It's saying turn right in 1.5 miles, but it's clearly a left turn. I don't know why. It wants me to get on West Campbellton Street. But I'm pretty sure all I really have to do is turn left onto US 29. Okay, 92 would actually be a really good way to get back. And there's probably less traffic on 92. But there's a problem with that. I can't do it because as soon as 92 gets out here onto US 29, that, as far as I know, that city right there is Palmetto. And if you stay on 92, there's a low clearance. It's like 10 foot or something like that, like a 10 feet low clearance, so you can't take 92 if you're in a truck. You won't fit. You'll hit the bridge. It's a train bridge, so that's not an option, and that kind of forces you to take 138 instead. I can't see, so I don't really know what the road's doing up there. But we're not even in Union City yet, and you see how backed up it is. So once we get across this intersection, I'll cut the video and I'll let you know. It's like 4:15 right now, so got another red light. Yeah, you just go straight across 29. Maybe one day I'll be able to get on this road and take a trip up to College Park or something. That's probably not going to happen, but I have had to pick a load up before in Fairburn, which is that way, and take it to downtown Atlanta, which required me to drive up US 29. And again, it's a pretty cool ride, pretty interesting area. I have to pee really bad and there aren't any like truck stops or anything around here for me to stop at, but that warehouse is like just up here on the right, and I'm tempted to stop and just go in and use their restroom. I think I'm going to, because I'm not going to hold it for another however long. I'm glad I tried that, because now I can go all the way back to McDonough to my warehouse without getting on the interstate. I didn't have to touch it. So that's really, really cool. I'm real glad that I tried that. It's gonna pay off. You know what I'm saying? I just passed the warehouse. That was it right there. I guess I gotta hold it now. That sucks. I'm not used to crossing it or coming up on it from this direction, so I just totally skipped over it. It says it's gonna take an hour to get back. Yeah, guys, This is what I was talking about, but it's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. Yeah, you got these annoying traffic lights, like a ton of them, but it's not gridlocked. I mean, it is moving, it's just congested. There's a difference between like total lockdown, not moving at all, and just congestion, obviously. But yeah, there's a lot of vehicles on the road right now. This is US 19 and 41. Made a right turn onto it from 138 back behind us, and it's probably a good 12 miles or so down here to it's another connector. It connects with Georgia 20, and it's called Lower Woolsey, I think that's how you say it, WOOLSEY road. So I'm probably about another 8 or so miles away from there. I just got the camera going right here so we can watch, see if there's any crazy people out here. I've seen a few of them so far. This guy in this black Camaro that's in front of this black Honda, he's driving like he's literally got ants in his pants. You see him? That erratic lane changing kind of stuff, like it's gonna make any difference which lane you're riding in. You're still gonna have to sit in the traffic. And you do that too much and you're gonna have to sit in probate court for a day and pay a freaking citation for erratic lane changing. So you might as well just sit there and chill out, crank some jams, and deal with it like everybody else is. I'm not trying to sound like a douchebag or a jerk or anything, but is it not true? Or you could just, you know, get on the shoulder where, you know, you're not supposed to be, and just try to cut in front of everybody, I guess. We'll see what he does. Oh, he's got a Henry County license plate, so he's probably deranged out of his mind because he lives in Henry County. That's the county that McDonough's in. That's like where some of the worst traffic is. So he's got a really fast sports car, or not, a muscle car, I guess is what you'd call it. And he doesn't know what to do with all that power. Okay, bonus clip time. Welcome to McDonough, Georgia, city of chaos. This is a typical weekday afternoon in McDonough, Georgia. We're about to turn on to 155, and I just wanted to show you guys the extent of traffic and primarily truck traffic that you've got in McDonough. Like in my last video, I was talking about, you know, if you want a good example of what can happen to a good city if it grows up too fast, if it gets too big for its own britches too fast, this is what can happen. And they're still adding industry to this city. There's still new warehouses popping up all over the place. But this road right here, this is the exclusive road that they expect trucks to use. Like, if you get off of this road in McDonough, you're gonna get a citation because you're getting into no truck territory. Well, because of that, this is what the road looks like. This road is the backbone of the whole city of McDonough. All the industry, everything, all the trucks have to use this road. And it's a 2-lane highway. I mean, you've got these massive, gigantic warehouses all over the place, all throughout McDonough, but this is the main road. It's 2 lanes. It's all, I mean, we're almost in 2024. This road has been a 2-lane road from the beginning, and they've never widened it, they've never expanded it. They don't look like they're planning on doing that anytime soon. But that backup on the other side, that's probably, I mean, and it's just bumper to bumper, and that's probably like that for a good 5 to 10 miles, where it's just bumper to bumper to bumper. Now you guys know what I was talking about when I was talking crap about that Camaro and him being from Henry County or whatever. No wonder he drives like that. Look at what he has to deal with. He lives here. I don't want to be negative. I'm not trying to be negative, but I just wanted to point this out to you. This is what this city looks like. This is, and I'm always talking about it. Wow, you're not really making that easy for me, are you? Okay, well, I'll give it a go. So yeah, I mean, it's like you try to get anywhere in this city at certain hours, and you're gonna be sitting on that road. Especially if you're in a truck, you're gonna be sitting on that road for a good hour, maybe 2 hours, just to get down the street. I'm talking about to get 1.5 miles, 2 miles down the road, you're gonna be sitting there for at least an hour, but probably more than that. And I just wanted to point that out to you, wanted to show you how bad that road gets. And they're not doing anything to improve it. They're actually in the process of making it worse, because there's, I mean, I could show you warehouses that they're building right now in this area. They're still adding more, and you see this is just all warehouses, all depending on a 2-lane state highway. It's crazy. It makes 0 sense.